안녕하세요. 방크에서 활동하는 박지은 연구원입니다. 한글은 600년의 역사를 가진 우리나라 고유의 문자인데요. 한글에 대해 잘 모르는 분도 많고 또 잘못된 정보를 접한 분도 꽤 있더라고요. 사이버 외교사절 딴 방크의 일원으로서 제가 한글에 대한 올바른 정보를 전달해 드릴게요. 한글은 조선 4대 왕인 세종대왕이 1443년에 창제한 글자예요. 한글은 자음과 모음으로 구성되어 있는데요. 자음은 입술, 이, 목구멍과 같이 발음 기관의 모양이나 그 움직임을 본떠 만들었고요. 모음은 하늘, 땅, 사람을 본떠 만들었답니다. 한글의 창제 원리와 사용법을 써놓은 훈민정음 해례보는 1962년 대한민국 국보로 지정되었고 1997년 유네스코 세계기록유산으로 등재되었습니다. 창적이고 과학적이며 아름다운 문자인 한글, 한국인의 위대한 문화유산입니다. 한국 바로 알리기, 여러분도 함께 해주세요.
Held its first debate over the weekend.
The economy is expected to expand 2.5% this year.
Boosting Korea's ties with its global partners on the sidelines of the Status UN summit.
A massive drone attack on Ukraine overnight on Monday and Tuesday.
Arirang.
안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects. And today with a focus on K-entertainment, K-military, and K-history. And we'll do all of that together with my co-host Walter Lee in the studio. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Soa, and hello to our viewers at home. I'm Walter Lee, of course, and this is a happy Wednesday to everyone at home. I have K-Enter News just for you, so stick around for that.
And we're also joined by Arirang's news features reporter Park Kwon-woo. Hello, Kwon-woo.
Hello, Konu.
Hi guys, and also a big hello to our viewers. I'm Park Kwon-woo, news features reporter at Arirang News, and I got some exciting news just for you. So again, stick around.
Now, today, June 25th, marks the 75th anniversary since the outbreak of the Korean War. Now, since the war ended in an armistice, finishing military service is a mandatory thing here in Korea for all Korean men, right, Konu? Including yourself?
That's true. And including myself, as a Korean citizen myself, I also finished my military service as a Katusa, serving at Camp Humphreys, cooperating with U.S. troops. And thinking of that, it's not just me who finished the military service, it's also the K-pop boy band members. Since going to the military means nearly 2 years off stage for them, there have been concerns about a career end. But I witnessed a little change in that perception. So follow me and see how it's been changing. Welcome back. Fans say it with sincerity after a long wait for their favorite K-pop idols to finish their military service. Those two words have never felt more powerful than this June, the month when BTS finally became whole again, with Suga being the last member to officially complete his military duty.
The military service is very demanding, so they need to take a little break, but we're most looking forward to, their comeback, their new potential concepts, their new music. We're just happy that they're back together.
Fans from around the world have been preparing for this moment, some even from the year before. On this day, it was easy to find global fans from regions, including Southeast Asia and North and South America, celebrating the return of their favorite stars. That was especially visible at fan cafes, where fans transform regular cafes into customized spaces for special events like being discharged from the military. At first glance, this may look like an ordinary cafe, but take a closer look, and you'll find all kinds of decorations celebrating the discharge of BTS members from the military. From photo displays to fan letters and even custom-made merchandise. There was a time when military service meant 2 years of silence with less interaction with fans, but now fans have found ways to stay connected. Fans say they managed to wait, thanks ironically to the abundance of content released when the artists were away.
They were prepared before they went into the military. At least they had some content for all of the army to consume while they were away. So I'm sure they really thought of us.
One expert says the military service break used to be seen as a major obstacle to idol careers, but not anymore.
Unlike now, in the past, idol groups typically lasted only a few years, and very few made it past 7. That meant going to the military during their peak often ended their career in fandom. But K-pop's global expansion is also another factor, as international fans tend to stay loyal, regardless of age, giving artists greater longevity.
He added that in the case of BTS, the group's decision to enlist one by one was a smart strategy, helping maintain the group's brand even while some members were away. As public perception toward military service breaks has shifted, the time away is no longer seen as a full stop, but merely a comma before a brand new chapter begins.
Well, we've been reporting a lot recently about the BTS members being released from military. And I mean, remember the time when there was a debate on whether BTS should actually be spared from military or not, but eventually they did all go. And it's great to see that these strategies worked and also that the fans have been loyal. But Konu, the coverage looked like a lot of fun, especially the fan cafe that you went to. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It was so much fun. At the cafe, prepared by global armies, there was a flea market going on with all sorts of merchandise, as you also saw during my coverage, and also a lucky draw where you can earn special gifts. And one of the most important, the most fun parts of the fan cafe was a BTS exam that I also took. So if you take a look at the screen, this is what I took. And
doesn't look like a lot of correct answers there, Konu.
Could you guess how much I got, how much I scored?
Konu, I know that you are a fan of BTS. You should have at least have maybe 60 or 70 points out of 100.
Well, if that was true, I would be even happier, but I only got 30
points out of 100. But it doesn't mean that I'm not a big fan of BTS. I'm a true ARMY here. I went to their offline concerts. I have several of their actual albums. I know all their names, and this goes on and on. So I'm pretty sure I'm a big fan of BTS, and yes, please keep that in mind.
Okay. So let's not be too disappointed
Yes,
here.
but one thing I want to tell you guys, as it could be like an excuse, but the questions here was pretty challenging. For example, you have to know all the hair color changes of each member on each album.
Oh, wow.
So, and this was only the easy version. There was even a harder version, so.
Okay. I mean,
Now
I
it
don't
makes
even
sense, right?
remember what I wore yesterday, so.
That's true, and that does sound like a very, very hard test to take. But Konu, can you tell us more about how active celebrities become after their service?
Yes, so since we've been talking about BTS, let's continue from there. So now that its members have come back, they've been jumping right back into the spotlight, I can say. So for example, most recently, J-Hope wrapped up his 4-month world tour, gathering over 500,000 fans globally. And for Jin, the first member to be discharged from the military, he had a breakthrough with a TV reality show called Kian's Bizarre B&B that ranked in Netflix's top 10 chart in several countries, which we've been also covering at this show. And as this year marks BTS's 12th anniversary, the annual BTS Festa was held successfully in Goyang this month with many exhibits on display. And one expert also says their experience in the military will be helpful enough in their music career down the road.
Since BTS finished their duty honorably without exemptions, it can be seen as them having overcome a major life challenge. In that sense, they will be able to gather more fans with sincerity and with an emotional connection if they incorporate those experiences in their future performances and creative artwork.
Well, I think this all works well for BTS, but I hope that also other groups can benchmark from BTS.
Of
and
course.
Not only groups, but also singers who are a single member, and the fans have to wait for that single singer
artist,
as well as Chaunu, for instance, like
Kang Daniel,
actors, or Kang Daniel. I mean, Chaunu is also part of a group, but still, I hope that all the fans will be able to wait for those 1.5 years now, and that it all works out for them well, and we won't have that 공백기 anymore.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Konu, for that interesting coverage.
Thank you, Konu.
Thank you.
Now time for some K-Entertainment news with Walter Lee. Walter, I think BTS fans, the ARMY, will like today's show because we're going to continue to speak about BTS. So today you've got some record-breaking news regarding one of the BTS members.
Yes, so we just talked about one of the members before, J-Hope, and that's who we're going to talk about now. So BTS's J-Hope has made history on the US Billboard charts, setting a new record for the most entries by a Korean solo artist. Now, according to Billboard's latest chart, released on Tuesday, J-Hope's new track, Killin' It Girl, which I actually talked about recently, featuring Glorilla, debuted at number 40 on the Hot 100 Billboard's main singles chart. Now, this marks his 8th solo entry on the chart, the highest number ever achieved by a Korean solo artist. Now, Killin' It Girl also becomes J-Hope's highest charting solo song on the Hot 100. Now, his previous personal best was at number 60 with On the Street featuring J. Cole. That was back in 2023. Now, all 3 singles from J-Hope's 2024 solo project have made it onto the Hot 100, including Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel, entered in at number 66, followed by Mona Lisa at 65, and just like we talked about, Killing It Girl, which has claimed now the highest spot.
Wow, well, what an achievement. But it's not only the boys that are doing great on the Hot 100. We're also talking about a girl.
Yes, of course. Correct. Also, according to Billboard, Blackpink's Rosé has made K-pop history again by charting on the Billboard Hot 100 for the 35th consecutive week with her hit single Apart, featuring Bruno Mars at number 25 this week. Now, last week she made history by surpassing BTS member Jimin's solo track, Who, which had charted for 33 weeks consecutive weeks, thus becoming the longest charting K-pop solo artist. Now, Rosé also recently shared an upcoming collaboration on her social media page where she will be featuring with American singer-songwriter and YouTuber Alex Warren, which is due to come out on Friday, 12 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. And as I mentioned recently, Blackpink are also scheduled to start their tour from July 6 at the Goyang Sports Complex main stadium.
Looking forward to all of that. Now, last but not least, we're going to talk about Stray Kids.
Yes.
They recently won big at a popular awards show.
Yes, it's one of the most popular award shows, especially amongst the youth. Stray Kids have been named the winners of the Favorite Music Group category at the 2025 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, according to an announcement by their agency JYP Entertainment on Tuesday. The Kids' Choice Awards are viewer-voted events that celebrates achievements across music, television, film, and much more. Now, the group received the honor during the awards ceremony held in Los Angeles on Saturday local time. Now, this makes them the second K-pop act to earn this award, following guess who? BTS. So, Stray Kids were also nominated for Favorite Global Music Star, but that went to South African singer-songwriter Tyler.
Well, thank you very much, Walter, for those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
And now we turn to our AI anchor, Ari, for other culture-related news. Ari, over to you.
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. Korea's renowned pianist Lee Min-chen's live recording of Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto No. 3, has been selected as the editor's choice for July by Gramophone, one of the world's most prestigious classical music magazines. Praising Lim's performance as having already acquired almost legendary status, Gramophone called it one of those rare occasions when composer, score, soloist, conductor, and orchestra all combine in perfect synchronicity. The live recording was captured during the final round of the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition, where Lim made history as the youngest ever winner with his performance of the piece. The Seoul Arts Center will officially launch its performance streaming platform, The Digital Stage, on July 1st. The platform will offer access to archive performances as well as real-time live streams. By simply signing up, users can watch nearly 100 past productions, including Lee Min-chen's 2022 piano recital, the ethereal ballet Giselle, and the timeless play Othello. Labeling Digital Stage as a new way to enjoy the performing arts anytime, anywhere, the center pledged to continue providing high-quality online content to make the performing arts a part of everyday life. 10 beaches across Jeju Island opened on Tuesday, welcoming early visitors. Following the openings of popular beaches Hamdeok, Hyokjae, and Woljeong, Shinyang Beach will open on Thursday, with Jungmun Beach set to open next Monday. Due to an early heat wave, all 12 designated beaches on the island are opening ahead of their original schedules this year. At 3 p.m. every day, all beaches across the island will hold a 30-minute trash cleanup session, inviting tourists and locals to join in voluntary efforts to keep the marine environment clean. That's all from me. Stay tuned to the Culture Wave.
"75 years ago today, June 25th, 1950, the outbreak of the Korean War, a conflict that has left a deep wound in our history. To mark the occasion, events are being held across Korea, but also overseas. For today's K-Correspondent segment, we connect with Gregory Joseph Eyre, member of the board of the Veterans History Museum of the Carolinas, who was part of an event that was held in honor of U.S. Korean War veterans and to reflect on the conflict. Hello, Gregory.
Hello, Greg.
Hello, how are you?
So, Greg, thank you for joining us today. So please tell us about the 75th Korean War anniversary ceremony that you or the Veterans History Museum of the Carolinas hosted. So what was it about and how did the event come about?
The event came about because the mission of our museum is to honor, educate, and preserve history of U.S. military veterans. And because the Korean War was one of the most catastrophic events of the 20th century, the war falls very much within the scope of our museum. For me personally, the Korean War is a very important event because I served as a U.S. Peace Corps volunteer in Seoul in 1972, 73, 74. And during that time, it became very apparent to me how important June 25th is to the Korean people. So I have honored that event since 1972. And when I became a member of the board of our museum last year, I convinced my fellow board members that we really should commemorate that date, ideally every year going forward. And the board agreed with me.
So from now on, you're going to hold this event in every year. Is that your plan?
That's the plan. Yes, it is.
Okay, great to hear that.
And congratulations on becoming a board member. And we just would like to know, like, who was there at the event and how many people participated?
The statistics are still coming in. I'm hearing from different people, but the numbers range from 250 to over 280 people who came. And that's the largest event that our museum has ever hosted. Last year, the Yukio, which I understand is, Yukio is the Yukio, June 25th event was attended by 180 people. So this year's 250 to 280 was a huge increase, and we're very, very happy about that.
That's good to hear that more and more people are remembering that occasion. So in what way were the Korean War veterans honored at the event?
During the event, every Korean War veteran who attended, excuse me, from North Carolina and South Carolina, each individual was announced by name, stood and received a robust round of applause. And also we heard about that person's name, service branch, rank, and what he did during the Korean War. And other veterans in attendance commented as well, because many of them knew each other. It was a very warm, a very welcoming experience for them.
Yes, I know that these kinds of things are very great to have, especially for people who are very interested in that sort of history. So what was the response like?
Well, the response, since I was the MC of the event, I was on stage most of the time. But afterward, we had a reception in the lobby of the auditorium. And many of not only the veterans, but also their family and other guests approached me to express their gratitude and how welcomed and honored they felt. And of course, that was our objective. So I couldn't have been more happy with it.
And was there obviously any special or particular moment that you remember from the event? Obviously, the most important people there were the veterans and their families. Was there anything that really stuck out to you?
Yes, actually, one in particular, very much I will never forget, because one of the veterans in attendance was one of our speakers. Dr. Peter Yoon is now 89 years old. He was in Korea as a boy when the war broke out. He lost his family, he was orphaned, and he was discovered by the U.S. Army. And he became part of that heavy mortar company for 2 years. Yesterday, I took him and his wife to our museum, and I was giving them a tour. And as we were going through the museum, 9 people walked into the museum, and those 9 people were members of his American family from Georgia. So they drove all the way from Georgia to North Carolina to attend the event where Dr. Yoon was speaking. Dr. Yoon was brought to tears, and actually he had a bit of trouble, I think, in delivering his address because he was so moved by the reception he had received.
That is really touching to hear. And as you just mentioned, there were also significant speakers at the event as well as performances. I guess that was also a very touching moment for all the attendants there, especially the veterans themselves and the families. Now, Greg, I have a question to you about how do Americans actually remember the Korean War? It is often also referred to the forgotten war, but do Americans remember, and also maybe the younger generation, do they know about the Korean War?
They really don't, and that disappoints me. It frustrates me because I think our educational system here has not done its job. Over the past 20 to 30 years, there's not been enough emphasis on world history and the sciences, and therefore this all is news for younger people. And so that motivates us in the museum to get the message out about really, where did we come from? Where did the world come from? The situation that we're in, where all did it come from? So, I'm frustrated, but we're all working on, we're working on the problem.
It's great to hear that we have those efforts being made. And Greg, 75 years have been now passed since the outbreak of the Korean War. So please tell us once more why it is important to remember this war and also to commemorate it. So a kind of final message to everyone out there.
Sure. Something I said to the audience yesterday was that even after 75 years, there is much debate and discussion among people who know about the war and want to talk about the war. They frequently get into debates about how the war was conducted, what should have been done, what should not have been done. Was a stalemate at the end, at the time of the armistice? Was that stalemate? Was that a victory or was that a defeat? And the debate goes on. And my view is that debate of these issues, of any issues, that's the essence of a free society. And I encourage that. I encourage debate. On the other hand, I also see a fact that was really the motivator for yesterday's event. And that fact is that the forces of the United Nations, led by the United States, and supported throughout by the people of South Korea, that effort saved the Republic of Korea. To repeat, our veterans saved the future that you now see in South Korea. And therefore, I think we all should be profoundly grateful, permanently grateful for what happened, for the efforts that were made. That's what I said. That's what I believe.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Greg, for those words, those significant words, and also for connecting with us today and for hosting such meaningful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.
And thank you, Walter. As always, we're going to see you back soon.
See you very soon.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on The Culture Wave for your daily dose of K-culture issues. May we remember the sacrifices made during wartime that allowed us to enjoy the diverse culture of this country today. And on that note, please tune in to The Culture Wave again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Korea time.